So the whole concept of Monday motivation chats, or
Monday
motivation.
motivation
I
chat.
thought it was motivation Monday chats.
Mon-
Anyway,
Motivation
is
Monday.
to start to build our community, and taking like-minded individuals that are not just entrepreneurs, just people, um,
We're killing the day.
parents, husband, wives, children, entrepreneurs, um,
Nonprofitpreneurs,
you name you
communitypreneurs.
name it. The whole idea is to just get a group of people. Every week we want to have a new person on and just kind of tell their story. And ideally, it would open a gateway of networking opportunity. Somebody may need uh, someone who specializes in the skills that you have, and it's just like, oh wow, like I didn't even know this thing existed.
Right.
So ideally, just creating this platform that enables people to connect and
Right.
get to know one another, and just motivate. That not everybody has a different story, everybody has a different journey, and therefore they.
I'll put him in a minute.
So what?
He joined. We'll put him in a minute.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So also just everyone, like you said, everyone has a story, and we want to share that story with our community. Kill the Day was the idea was born out of wanting to build a community of people that uplift one another, that support one another. That also don't that the sense of competition isn't there. Like there's space for everyone. There's space for everyone to succeed, and there's enough space for everyone to help one another succeed. And so we want the Kill the Day to community to be filled with people who just wake up every day to kill the day, to tackle the obstacles that life throws at them, and then help the next person. And so each individual that we're selecting for Motivation Monday chats are people that we view as that we've connected in one way or another, and we view as like you're killing the day in whatever you're doing. And we want to bring your energy, bring your story, because in our obstacles, like there's something to learn from, there's inspiration to share. And we just want to be able to tell those stories and to share those stories. And through these chats, we know we're going to learn something, we're going to grow from them. And we hope that with the individuals we're bringing on, that you learn from us as well. So we hope all around that these chats are just a learning, growing, and connecting opportunity. So with that being said, we're going to bring in our first host to kick off Motivation Monday chats.
What's going on, Unc?
How do we go? Everything's a learning curve, you know. First time for everything.
What's up, y'all?
Going
What's
on?
up?
What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing? I see y'all Kill the Day in the building. I like the shirts.
TV.
You know what's going on. What's going on, buddy?
No, man, I'm chilling. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had to kill the day today.
Oh, as you should.
You got dressed up for us. Okay, we feeling special.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this was in person, I would did the same. So nothing changes because we're on a virtual. So nothing changes. And also I bought a microphone now too. Look.
Oh.
I bought the mic out too.
So thank you for everyone who's already joined us for Monday Motivation Chats. We've already introduced what we want Motivation Chats to be about. And so we just want to start off with you sharing, like, what was the point where you decided, like, I have this idea about Pat TV and now I'm going to go do it?
Great question. I feel weird doing this. So that moment, like, my whole 20s was kind of up and down. You know, I've worked at job after job. You know, I've been doing endeavor after endeavor, and it never seemed to work. Or I gave my all, and I was loyal to that particular situation or person, and and it never really worked in my favor. So, and I noticed when I do things on my own, they always got done efficiently. You know what I'm saying? Because that was always the key word: efficiency and getting things done the way you want to get them done. But
Yeah.
the reason why I started, like, well, hold on, what's the question again? I don't want to go too crazy. What's the question again?
What was your motivation? You know, like
Motivation. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
yeah, just kind of like pretty much your journey. Like, what led you to coming up with the Pat TV concept?
Oh, there we go. Sorry. So what led me to come up is like I was staying with my mother, you know, and obviously I couldn't have people come in at her house, you know what I'm saying, you know, out of respect. Um, so I always had the ideas in my head, you know, I always had the ideas, but I know those ideas are usually meant to be manifest. You know what I'm saying? Usually for you to put them together and learn different things and finally bring back to the drawing board and create a big situation. So
Yeah.
I was actually hired at a college, which I'm not going to disclose on here. And I finally got my own space where I seen it had potential at first. And I was like, you know what? This could be a place where I could use to empower others. You know, get people to come on here, share their story, whether upcoming artists, whether you're entrepreneurs, anything, just anything you want, let shed a light on. You know what I'm saying? And that right there alone allowed me to start. And that's what led me to like start Pat TV because I was like, yo, this is gonna be an empowerment show, and I wasn't gonna make like a black empowerment as most people would thought I would have done because of the skin of my color and all the triumphs that I went through. I wanted to make it towards everybody feels empowered, and I feel like I'm doing a great job at it. You know, I feel like I'm doing a great job, and that's why I keep it going. And I'm glad you guys got me on here. I hope I answered the question.
It was an honest pleasure of like I mean honestly like we came up with the idea and we wanted to make sure that we kicked it up right. You know, we wanted and you're the first person that we thought of. We were just like, no, we gotta bring Pat on. You know,
Yo,
he's somebody. You know, we well,
Don't stop. Don't stop.
we wanted to make sure that we brought somebody on that you know had a similar vision to us. That you know, you're not this heavily successful billionaire, right? Like you're going through the same journeys, you're going through the same struggles. And the crazy thing is, right? So the main reason that we brought you on here, you're an entrepreneur and you are coming like you're going through your journey, right? But in the process of going through your journey, you recently went through something. And I want to bring that to the front right now because despite the fact that we wanted the topic of conversation to be what it will be about, you know, Pat TV, I think that due to just the realness of life itself, that there are other and bigger things that need to be addressed and need to be spoken about because it's life. Um, so you recently had a situation where you were profiled,
Absolutely.
and it wasn't. It's a tough situation. Not just being a brother, but being a dark skinned brother and the wrong part of town at times, and it's always they always say like wrong place or wrong time type thing. So if you can, you know, if you feel comfortable enough
No,
to
that's
speak.
fine. That's fine. I'm sorry. I didn't really want to bring that to the forefront because I don't want to take the light off of you guys' show. Like this is your first episode, so
No,
you know.
about keeping it real about what we really are experiencing in life.
All right, so I was out with my family, whatever. I was out with my cousin. We was in Ocean City, Maryland. Everything was cool. The day was good. I'm strictly on my show. I don't really hang out like that. I strictly do my show. So I finally get to go out. You know, we stop at a rest stop. We at a Wawa in Maryland, and I go to get him a 5 hour energy because he was passed out. And I walk in there. I had my Black Lives Matter hoodie on, but I didn't wear it with the intent of like, oh, I'm this extremist, black, like I'm this Black Panthers type. That wasn't the idea. Like, you know, I understand I'm a dark skinned man in America. I can't change that. But when I walked into the Wawa, they seen the hoodie. They looked down like this and saw the hoodie, and they was like, "Oh my God, you can get in front of me." Everybody starts scattering. like everybody, like the people, the customers, the people started walking to the back. I don't know if I was being set up, and the cashier was like, "Oh my God, baby!" Everything was baby this, baby that. She's being overly nice to me, and then another guy, this redneck white guy, looks me in my eyes and almost touches me, and tells me, he said, "All lives matter." And look me dead in the eyes, and I had the BLM mask on. I had it on, and I said, yeah, they do matter, and because I didn't want to escalate that because I know how deep it can get, and I know it's only two ways this can go. I can either be locked up or I can be dead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the only two options I felt in that situation, because I was in a racist town, because I was noticed. I was like, wow, like I was like, damn, he really. I said, you really took that hoodie. That hoodie really struck you like that, and that killed me mentally. That killed me. Like I was in the car and I instantly jumped alive, and that's why I put the picture up where it looked like my eye was tearing, but I really wasn't crying. It was just the black and white really brought that effect.
Oh
So
wow.
so I really wanted to share that with the world, because that I want to show the world that no matter how many 50 states have protested, nothing has been done. That was the message I wanted to put it over. Nothing's been done, and it's more than just you just putting on a Black Lives Matter hoodie or hashtagging Black Lives Matter. It's a mental thing. It's a mental thing within you. Like when you see a black person, like you shouldn't be like, oh well, I'm at a job. Oh yeah, I'm going to bring up Black Lives Matter, make them feel good. It doesn't make us feel good. It singles us out.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
that's all I got for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can you speak more about that? Like how does it single you out? Bring clarity to that. Bring light to
So
that.
I feel like it singles you out. Like prime example, right? We're a Fortune. Let's paint a picture. We're a Fortune 500 business. And most companies have to hire a certain amount of black people in order to get the quota or whatever, to get the money that they're owed from the government, right? So of course, if they have like a Black Lives Matter thing going on in America, they feel the need to share that with their flock instead of just going along with it and treating everybody as equal. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to always. What I mean, you don't always have to put black people to the side. Like, yeah, we feel your pain. No, let everybody feel equal pain together. Let it be equality.
Right.
So then that white person understands the pain that the black person feels in that situation. How are they going to understand the pain if they're not present when it happens?
Right. Right. How do you feel like the platform that you created through Pat TV enabled you to share that experience?
It helps because I obviously I do stand up comedy. I actually get to share my thoughts through comedy, and I think things come across better through a joke. No matter
Mm-hmm.
how serious it may come off, it comes off better through a joke. So when I share these things, I always try to in my show I always try to drop a jewel. If I see, like, prime example, I have a show I'm about to drop probably tomorrow with this guy named Sam Saucy. And this is a little bit off the Black Matters thing, but I told him this was like toward women, because I obviously I play with social media a lot. I'm very avid on it. And a lot of women say like black men don't protect them. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I shared to him, I said, well, you're from New York City where the gang violence is heavy. It's really heavy. Dudes get jumped in the gang. So what would it take for you to walk up to 30 men and tell them to leave that girl alone at the gas station when she just want to go home? She just want to pump her gas and go home. You would get jumped into a gang, but you won't get jumped to protect that woman.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I just tell them to put themselves in that woman's shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a deep conversation.
It's a tough. That's definitely tough, because it's one thing. There's many facets to it, right? There's being a black man, there's being a black woman, and even in just those two pathways, there's completely different experiences. And I even seen I don't know, I guess like a post, you see like these posts on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and it's just like just a text. And I don't know where it started or originated from, but it brought up a good point where it said, it was pretty much like a woman saying that if somebody was following me and I felt uncomfortable, could I come to you and hug you and like whisper in your ear that like something was happening? Like if she's trying to get away from somebody, right? Like if you're just standing there and some random chick just comes up and hugs you and just like whispers in your ear, this guy's following me. would she be safe enough to be able to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's deep. Because I actually had that happen to me before. I do security. I've done security, so I've
You also
had like
wrestle.
I've had a lot of different experiences with that. But even the one that I remember the most wasn't even while I was doing security. I was doing construction late at night, and we were checking a gas leak, and there's this I was a white woman was walking down the street, and there was a guy like trying to talk to her, and it's late at night. She's by herself. It's dark, and it was me and my coworker, and she came up to us and was like trying to talk to us, and was like, I don't know who this guy is, and he keeps following me. So we just kind of played it off. I was like, oh, what's going on, cuz? Like, how you been and everything like that, and started playing it off. And then the guy just kind of like waved her off and just kept it moving. But like she was scared, and like had it been like you don't know, as a woman, you don't know because guys would try to use that to their advantage. Like I'm basically trying to get away from this guy because he's scaring the hell out of me and trying to come to you for comfort.
But you might not be any more safer.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't
like if we were the wrong type of guys, she could have been thrown in the back of the truck and then never seen again. Like it's a scary world that we live in, and it's tough. Women go missing all the time. So like being not only just a female but a black female, and feeling as though that not even a man of color who's experiencing a lot of the same things that you're experiencing can't protect you. That's definitely like a very deep,
Yeah.
or won't, for whatever reason. It's crazy. It's a crazy subject.
And it's crazy you said that because a lot of men have this stance, like like I was always taught. My mother, she's in here by the way, Miss Sheeta. I was always taught that no matter what a woman is, you know what I'm saying, whether you may classify her as a thought, as you say, or a hoe, or any other name that you classify her as, she still needs to be protected because at the end of the day, she is the creator of the earth. She's the creator of all living things. A woman, Mother Nature, is the reason why we're able to breathe, why we're able to consume and do all the things that we do. So that's why I always like when certain stuff like that hit me, it touches me. And a lot of women look at me like, he's like the softy and all that stuff. But when it comes down to a woman, I'll shake something because I believe that they're the pillars of this earth.
Oh, you are trying? Yeah, you're trying to twerk? Is that what you're showing? What you shaking?
Y'all too much.
I love this guy, man. I love this guy. No, but I'm glad. I'm definitely glad that you guys like. Before you finish, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you guys gave me an opportunity to share that because, like I said, I actually went home and I went to sleep and I actually had nightmares and I said I didn't want to say I was going to actually wear the Black Lives Matter hoodie to make it more powerful, but I didn't really want to take off too much of the energy of the show. So because it's the first one, but I did want to shake something, But I didn't really, I didn't want to take too much. But I definitely thank you guys for allowing me to share my story. Thank you.
Of course. When I saw that, I said we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it, because I think so many things are silenced. Media gets to choose what they talk about. And so this is our platform. You have a platform, we have a platform, and we get to choose what we want to talk about. And so whether it's 6 people or 10 people or 10,000 people, like we're choosing what we want to talk about. We're choosing the dialogue. And so it's important for us to be intentional that this platform that we're creating is something that we have 2 chocolate boys, and we got to think about them. What future do we create for them? And so it has to start somewhere.
And take it from me. You remember, like Eric, I'm pretty sure Eric could tell you, I've been stabbed before by a white gentleman. I was stabbed in both my legs, and then people laughed, and people massacred me. They laughed, they joked, and even to this day, when I tell people the story, it's a big joke. They even told me I should use it in my comedy show, but I didn't find that funny. I use comedy, to get my pain out, and because I was a shy kid. But I didn't find some stuff I don't find funny.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of other people that go through worse. And that's why, like, you know, I use my charisma and how charismatic I am to share certain stuff and make people laugh and then make it stick with them. I'm like, damn, I'm laughing, but I'm really crying in the inside.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell us about the journey about TV from the first episode to
Well,
the
not,
one.
not even about Patsy, but how about we start before that, right? Like, so
Yeah.
you mentioned before about being a comedian, and then you've made a couple mentions. You just made a mention now about comedy, what it means to you, and what your art is in regards to your comedy. So, how, like, just kind of go through that, right? Because comedy was before Pat TV, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right,
It's still there,
so
too. It's still in effect.
as it should be. So, how about we gonna go back into the time. Yeah,
No,
so go and tell us about your comedy journey.
okay, so as a kid, you know, like I said, I was very shy. You know, I used to basically go to school. I was a class clown in a sense because that was the way I was able to like cope with me being so shy. Because like, I'd be around people and they used to give me compliments, and I used to smirk like this, you know, just a little smirk. You know, I used to always smirk like that, like I didn't know how to take it because I was always I felt like as a kid, as a dark skinned kid growing up, I always felt like I got the most scrutiny out of everybody. Like, you know, me and my cousin Malcolm, shout out to him. He every time he would do stuff, people would give him a slap on the wrist. They would treat him real nice. They would always do everything. Oh, hold on. Oh, she said my first show was awesome. Okay. No, so they would always give him a slap. They would always give him a slap on the wrist, and they would always treat him better than me. And then I would always get the short end of the stick. Like I was abused. My mother, she's here. I was hit with a belt by a security guard when I was in sixth grade because I was late for school. That would have never happened if I was light skinned.
Well, you shouldn't have been late to school. I mean,
Thank you. Yeah, I was waiting for the twist. No, but like stuff like that allowed me, and I was going through that. I was like, yo, I got to find some way to direct my anger because I also had a very short temperament. And my mother could tell you that too. I used to always fight people and go crazy. But then comedy allowed me to express my thoughts in a more pleasant way. And like I said, I struggled from low self esteem from ages 6 to 16. And then I moved out of my mom's house after I left high school, and I was homeless for a year. You know, I was homeless. And I was surviving. Like, you know, people, my personality was landing me places to stay. Like, without me even asking people. Like, people's like, yo, Pat, you know, you can stay at the house. I know you like the Parmesan and all that stuff. And I wasn't even asking them. And they was giving me rooms to stay and everything. And like, just because of me making them laugh and me just being a voice of reason, just being me. And I was like, you know what? If I can make it through that, I can make it through anything.
Mm.
And once and as I said, I was like, wow. And then fast forward, we're gonna fast forward a little bit. At the age of 25, I was at a cookout right around Temple. It was all these white kids outside, and I'm just telling my jokes. I'm bugging out. And they say, "Oh, you're very graphic, right?" They say you should do stand up. Then you think because I was talking about like when I talk.
you're graphic. You're absolutely right.
No, because I get real vulgar. I get real vulgar in my jokes. Like I start talking about sex and all this other stuff and how we bust her ass
Yeah.
yeah. So when I start, like I told the one girl, I said one joke. I said one girl, I said I bent her over, I was busting her ass so much she period all over my lip. Like I said that to her, right? And they was like, oh my God, he's graphic. And that's when the stand-up comedy came out. That's it. Sorry.
Well then.
see, you see how you see so
I might have said that too. I don't know if that was vocabulary.
He was just trying to marinate some steak.
I cannot.
So when that happened, my friend, he goes to me, he was like, yo, he said, he's stand. I'm halfway drunk, right? I said, why don't you sign me up?
Halfway drunk.
Yeah, I'm halfway, not all the way, halfway. I said, why don't you sign me up? The next day, he said he signed me up for the biggest comedy club in Philly, which is the Helium. And I wasn't even nervous. That's why I knew it was a match made in heaven. I wasn't even nervous. So my mother, she said she kept on harassing me. Shout out to my mother. Hey Pat, you ready to go on stage? You ready to go on stage? And I went on there. The set was hot like baked clams. And I went on there and I looked around like this. I was like, damn, nervous as hell. Right? Looking like that. And I went off after that. Once they laugh after that, and I'm a type of comedian.
I was at that show and you like came on and oh my God. Yo.
Once I got a little bit of laughs.
It was that you had to get those first couple like butterflies out, right? You know, like you mentioned earlier, I wrestled, so like it's the same thing, right? Like you come out the curtain and it's just like, oh wow, whatever. But then you start kind of getting the gears moving, and that was how it was. Like when I remember seeing you, you were just like, oh, like you were being mad appreciative of the fact that like you had the opportunity to even be there in front of a crowd, because it was a great crowd.
That was a big crowd.
And it was like a lot of people in front of me. Like when I first came on, the front, it was like looking up at me like this. There was so many, and they was looking at me like they was really admiring. They was like, and that part. But when I taught myself that day, I just looked at the back wall. But as they started laughing, I gained confidence. And I already had a stage presence from college because I did public speaking. So public speaking allowed me to, you know, really be able to walk around the stage, identify the camera angles. Because a lot of people don't know when comedians walk around the stage, they're not just doing that just to survey the room. They're looking at the different camera angles. So it's a camera angle here, it's in the middle, it's on the side, it's one over there, and you just keep going around the circle to identify the camera angle. That's how you're able to get the pictures. I just taught y'all something.
No, I mean,
we learning.
You gotta make sure to get every greased up side and everything like that.
And I did feel like I was Chocolate and Handsome that night too. I had the tag on my.
Listen, you ain't gotta feel like it's that night, man. You Chocolate and Handsome all the night.
All the night.
And I'm melting all over the concrete too. This chocolate melts everywhere. I keep trying to tell girls like, yo, during the regular school year, I'm a $7 chocolate from Russell. I'm a Russell Stover chocolate from CVS. But when income tax time come, I'm Godiva.
Wait,
I'm a Russell Stover chocolate. You know that little $7 chocolate that you get from CVS? Right. I'm that during the school year.
After tax?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Yes.
When that tax money comes, I start cutting up. Hey, don't let me get my car. Oh my God! Don't let me get a car.
It's gonna be over. You're gonna be collecting your 7 wild.
I'm telling you, my chocolate melting in every seat.
So from comedy came Pat TV. How did the idea come for Pat TV?
So it's a little vulgar again. Right? It's a little vulgar. So
viewers discretion is fine.
I was messing with this girl, right? She wasn't that attractive. She was all right. I had met off a Tinder. Right? So she was like, she's like a little heavy set at 3 a.m. type. You know what I'm saying? She was like 180, 190. You know what I mean? So she came to the crib. She let me hit the first day. But I realized she had brains, right? Like she had brains. She was smart as hell. She was like, yo, this is serious though. Y'all laughing, it's serious though. She was like, yo, she said, I was telling her I'm sitting in the bed, we chilling, and I was like, she was like, I said, yeah, I'm trying to do a show and everything, but I ain't got the funding, you know, to get the mics and all that cool stuff. And she was like, yeah, I'll help you and stuff. She's like, I'll help you. And I was like, and after that, me and her was dealing with each other for 3 months at a time. Like she was coming to get me every day. We was going to the Y. She was buying mic after mic after mic. And she helped me start the name. She said, you should call it Pat TV. You should keep it nice and simple. You know what I'm saying? And then right after I talked to a very special friend of mine, my friend Leah, she told me that's where Laugh at Pat came from. So Laugh at Pat was more like paneling. Like, you know, we was together, that would be considered a Laugh at Pat episode because it's more like paneling and having fun. You know what I'm saying? So Pat TV is more interpersonal like this. Like, you know, y'all asking me questions. That's what Pat TV was. So I wanted to separate the two. But she basically, once she gave me the microphone, that was the kickstart I needed to start.
Wow.
So I turned a booty call.
Girl, start the journey. Plot twist. That's crazy.
That melted
And
chocolate.
I want to shout her out though. Her name is Kristen Dozier. I want to shout her out. She's not in here, but her name is Kristen Dozier.
That whole government.
Yeah, no, cause I don't know her social media, but her name is Kristen Dozier. Even when I get to the top, I'm gonna shout her out too because she was the reason why I kept it going.
So you went. What's her name? Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen Dozier. Yeah.
Friends no more.
Nah, I don't fuck with her no more. No, but that don't mean like I'm not gonna give you your credit. Like I don't care if you're my arch enemy. If you help me start something, I'm always gonna show you love. Even if I get to the top, I might throw $100K your way. Somewhere I might do something.
I'll fuck with it. I respect you for that.
Yeah, like because that's corny. Like look at all the movies that we watch. Like all the movies where, like the Five Temptations, the New Editions, and all that stuff, where the managers take advantage of the guys. I'm not that guy. I'm gonna give you something for your hard work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her Instagram.
What about Instagram? You gotta find her on Instagram.
He said, what's her Instagram? I said, I don't know her Instagram.
You gotta start tagging her.
I'm ready. What you about to say something?
Share some obstacles that you've experienced and overcome through the journey from the first episode to the one that's about to drop tomorrow.
Okay, so the first episode, right? The first episode was very, excuse my French, fucked up, right? My cousin was the cameraman. He was all under the influence, as we say. The camera was like this. It was rocking back and forth, which I don't understand. He had a stabilizer. I don't understand how that works. But he was holding the camera like this. I had a lot of pretty girls in the room because the idea was I wanted to have an audience. So when I say stuff, they clap, and it paints the picture as a real show. Because sometimes you got to fake it to make it, right? So I told him to hold the camera. So he fucked up the footage. It was real blurry. It was going black and white. It was going in and out. But it was good content though. We got my first 300 views in the first week. You know what I'm saying? Like so that I was like, yo, I was like, yo, this I really can do this because I had watched it. I don't like watching myself. I think it's weird, but I had watched it. And I was like, yo, this is really good. Like the questions I was asked, how poised I was, how confident, and I was like, yo, it can only get better from this. And everything in life is a constant repetition of practice. And just self-doing, like doing it within self, like believing in yourself and believing like, yo, I can be there. So when I did that, it just clicked. And then to this episode, like now I'm more poised. You know what I'm saying? I could play around, I could mess up and still play around. Like I did 6 takes the other day. I said, take 6. He's still ain't getting shit together. I said, because like I said that about my guests, like, but it's fun, and that's to get people off the edge. Because when people come on your show, they're very nervous. Like on here, I'm pretty sure people are very nervous because they see you guys, you're intelligent, you're cool, but they don't know that. They don't know the cool side of you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you put your videos up, I'm pretty sure they see like serious people. You doing your workout videos. I'm like, damn, they mean their business, but they don't see the real you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with me, I tell them before the show, I said, look, I'm going to say a couple wacky things. I'm going to say some silly stuff, but don't take it personal. We're just having fun. I'm just actually giving you media training to when you get to the high echelon. And if you don't feel comfortable with something, just say no comment. I teach them stuff like that. So I also I give my guests media training as well. Because me, I can go. You know what I'm saying? So because me, I can go a little bit. I can go crazy, and a lot of people are afraid. I'm not afraid. I don't shy away from controversy. I walk right to it. That's why I give them the warning.
Yeah. What's some of the most controversial topics or conversations that you have had on Pat TV?
The woman thing, like we just spoke about with the women. What else? Of course, George Floyd. But I try to shy away from that due to my profession. Because I really don't want that to ever, come back. But we mainly talk about women and like the women rights from time to time. The George Floyd and stuff like that. That's what that's mainly what we talk. That's the most controversial. But other than that, I try not to be too controversial. I just try to like have fun with it. And if we get there, we get there.
Okay.
That's.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. That's it.
No, but why is it that you feel as though like the topic of the women is controversial? Like what about the conversation do you feel as though is controversial?
I feel like it's controversial because it's being swept under the rug because of the other things that happens. Like, you know, like to me, America's making to where it's like black people is separate from black women. That's what it seems like the world is coming to. Because when I hear, like when I go on Facebook, because I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook, when I be joking around on my statuses and stuff, I put up controversial statuses about women to see how they react to certain stuff, and I went to the status. I said, "Do you feel protected by the black man?" And they said no. So it's showing that in the society we live in, women are like in their own independent realm. Black women specifically, because I can't speak for white women, but I'm speaking around the demographic that I'm around. But it seems like they feel like they're in their own bracket, their own realm.
And I think I don't know if the word I would use is controversial, right? Because I feel like
it's controversial because it might hurt a lot of women's feelings. That's why I said that.
Yeah, black women have within their right to be in their own realm, as you say, you know, their own category, and it even goes as far back as you know, slavery. You know, like the women and the men were treated differently, and not that one was treated better than the other. They were treated differently, and they all experienced their own horrors, you know, like their own torture, their own horrors. And you know, today, just through history, it's still that way, right? Like, you know, the black man experiences different things from the black woman. You know, like a woman sometimes can be, because of the motherly effect, more sympathized than the black man, but at the same time, there's a certain level of sympathy with an ulterior motive, so to speak. You know, so at the end of the day, as much as we try to keep things equal, a man physically, like men and women, they're just different, you know, and they're gonna, because of those differences, they're gonna experience different life, you know, life differently, so to speak. You know, like, you know, we're married, we're together, and you know, we look similar, but you know, I'm not gonna experience the same thing she's gonna experience, and she's not gonna experience what I experience. And it's always been something that's been tough, especially for me, because I'm mixed, right? You know, like I'm black and Hispanic, but I don't speak Spanish. And I've experienced, you know, my set of shit, you know, through life. But at the same time, it's like, you know, like what I've experienced, I couldn't even fathom what you experienced as a dark skinned brother, because I always consider myself kind of like a chameleon. I can kind of blend in with my surroundings. People will look at me and not necessarily know what I am. Is he Hispanic? They'll start speaking to me in Spanish. Or he's Samoan. He's Polynesian. Like he's black and white. Like, you know, whatever. And it was always tough because when I was younger, I felt as though I couldn't really fit in, so to speak, because I was too dark to be white, but I was too light to be black. You know, like I was just kind of like in this middle point, and so it's like, you know, through life we all experience life differently, and have all different types of, I don't know, it's crazy. So the man and female thing, controversial, I don't know, I wouldn't view it as controversial, but it's definitely something that, it's an experience. You know, women are going to have their views, men are going to have their views, but at the end of the day, I feel like there just needs to be some sort of level of respect. And yeah, there needs to be a level of respect where, as a man, I can't expect my wife to handle things a certain type of way, you know? So therefore, that's where we're kind of like each other's yin and yang. Where, like, even with our own kids, I'm gonna be a little bit more of a hard ass, but she's gonna be the motherly, loving nurturer, you know. And that's just, and I feel like that's just naturally how men and women kind of come together. Where, you know, they have those naturally, they just have those traits, just being the gender that they are. Now, when we talk about, you know, men being with men and women being with women and everything like that, that's a different situation. I can't really speak on that. Like, I have all the respect in the world for it, and I have plenty of friends that are, but I can't speak for how that balance happens in those type of relationships, because I know for us, the her being the nurturer, there's been plenty of times where I'm fired up and I'm like, am I tripping? And she's like, yeah, just a little bit. I think you're tripping. All right. Pull me back and everything, because I'm like, I'm ready to go. And then like likewise, where she's like all emotional or anything like that, I'm just like, chill out. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just sit back, and it's just kind of like that balance just helps with things. So I don't know, like
I think it sucks that topics have to be controversial, though, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's important to talk about.
I mean, they're not to me, but the world. Sorry about that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're important to you, which is why you're bringing it up. And it sucks that like there's just this category of controversial topics that essentially they're just important because without talking about them, then inequalities continue to occur. Just the unfairness of it all, the inhumane of it all, because essentially whether you're man or female or whatever range of color, right? Because even in the minority community, we're ranges of colors. African Americans come in ranges of colors. Latin Americans come in a range of colors. Like, I have family members that look like you or are lighter than me, or look at our boys, like they're lighter than the both of us combined. Like, it's like there's no equality until it's just like looking at the human race as the human race.
And even within those cultures, you have dark-skinned African Americans that hate on and look at light-skinned African Americans a certain type of way, and vice versa. Like, so it's like we just need to
and that argument is kind of justified a little bit. The black dark skin versus light skin is kind of justified in a sense because that's the way we were categorized to think. Think about that. Like, and during slave time, the dark skin guy,
in the house,
yeah, I'm gonna be in the house with the AC even though they didn't have AC, but. I'm gonna be out in the trenches, the field, and I'm gonna be picking cotton.
Down in the sun, picking that cotton, but I'm gonna hate on you. It's crazy. Right?
Yes, and it makes you envious of a person. Like, you don't want to be jealous. You don't want to have that jealous bone. You don't want to hate on someone. But sometimes when you see that you're always going to be down here, and that person is constantly rising in your eyes, but you never know the thoughts of the mind of that person in their minds. Like, maybe they want to experience your pain because if you notice, you got prime example, a rich kid, right, always wants to go to the poverty line. They don't never want to stay. They see that their friends might be broke. They're like, I want to wear dirty clothes. I want to wear ripped clothes like them so that I can belong. Because the 1% is very slim. The poverty line is expansive. You know what I'm saying? So it's justified in a sense. And it's not by the person, but by the times, the ancestry, the time, how long. Yeah, there we go. I like the way he fill out my sentences.
To elaborate on the dark versus light, I was really surprised where I was talking to this older Boricua lady. She's a Puerto Rican, and she was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And to my surprise, Puerto Rico was segregated by just the community kind of sticking to their own, even though they're all Puerto Ricans and they live on this tiny island. Dark-skinned Puerto Ricans didn't live where the light-skinned Puerto Ricans live. And she was a light-skinned Puerto Rican and never saw a dark-skinned person until she moved to the United States, to New York City at the age of 18. Puerto Rico is this big, okay? So she's telling me she didn't leave her small town and never seen a dark-skinned person until she moved to New York City. Like, this blew my mind.
Growing up, it's very possible.
It's crazy. Or like seeing like Puerto Ricans being racist against dark-skinned Puerto Ricans. You're from the same island. Your families experience almost identical life experiences, but simply from the color of the skin, you're different than me, or I'm better than you, or you're less than me. Like, it blows my mind.
I used to feel that way too because, like I said, I used to feel that way my whole life. I still sometimes I don't feel like that no more because I'm more educated. But I used to always feel like that. I used to never feel like I wasn't going to amount to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like all the time, because it seemed like my little accomplishments never amount to half of the accomplishments that they achieved. Because people probably look like, oh yeah, that's just us. That's just that little nigga over there. And I'm not. I'm saying it just like that because that's what I feel in my mind because that's what people treat it. That's that little nigga over there. You know, he's not going to amount to nothing. And that's but I learned otherwise. I just learned that people have hatred in themselves. A lot of people want the darker skin because when I did a lot of studies, the darker your skin, the wealthier you were.
Mm.
That's why people try to get tans in the summertime and stuff like that. They try to get tan because the darker your skin really shows the richness in you.
Mm. Mm. So how did you gain your confidence over the years?
I I was studying stuff like like about psychology and stuff in college, and it said I struggle with I struggle with, like I said, I struggle with low self esteem, and I was like, damn, why is this? Why do I hate myself all the time? Like like why do I always hate myself? And I had a lot of demons, and that's why I don't smoke or I barely drink. That's why I don't smoke. 'Cause they said in order for you to face your demons, you must face them head on.
Mm.
So basically everything that I felt like that was holding me back, I faced it head on, guard up, and I knocked them all down. And now I'm able, like when I go in rooms now, I used to be going in rooms to be shy. Now I can walk through a crowd of people and smile and with my suit on and feel confident. You know what I'm saying? At all times.
Yeah. Love
So
it.
it's just about climbing from the bottom and making your way all the way to the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I love it. So what's next for Pat TV? Like what's the vision for the next?
Sorry, the darker the skin, the richer you are. Side note, I'm gonna be a billionaire. As you should.
Yeah, shout out to my man Leaf. You know what's going on. But the next journey for Pat TV is just expansion. I plan on talking to you guys from a studio. This is actually out of where I live at. I turned lemons into lemonade. But
yeah, I can put that backdrop right there, looking all dope.
You know what the fuck going on? No, but I'm trying to have in the studio.
Like you.
Oh
huh?
I'm trying to have that A1 dripping like you.
You know what's going on? It's dripping all of my beard down the Flavor Saver. See, I told you I get vulgar. But what's next for Pat is I plan on having a studio, and I plan on getting so big to the point where I can have other platforms under it, like a big network, like a CBS or something. And I want other people to be and just pay me a small fee, and they can have their stuff under my umbrella, and you get them to the top as well. And I'll show them the ropes.
Okay.
So sort of like a mentorship program. Obviously, I'm getting paid, but I want other people to grow because that's why I tell people when they come on my show, the significance of my show is when I grow, you grow. Mm-hmm. So if I interview you on my show, I never take the episode down. Most networks take the episode down, the promotion. I never take anything down. So when I get to the top and they say, oh yeah, I seen the interview you did with Painting Pretty, or I seen an interview you did with Driz Brown Beauty, or I seen this. Oh, what's that person's number here? They'll always be connected to me. We'll always connect. When I grow, they grow. That's the module.
I love it. What's something that you've learned through life and COVID? What has a lesson that you've learned through life and COVID?
3 words: maximize your potential.
Mm.
You see, and I learned a lot because, like, I ain't gonna hold you. The first month of COVID, I was stressed out. We couldn't go nowhere. My friend, we wanted to go by the water and chill, but we couldn't do it because due to the regulations. But it also showed me like use the little things that you do have and expand on them. That's why I say maximize your potential. I've lost over 40 pounds. You see what I'm saying? That just maximize my potential.
Yes, get it, boy.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean. Maximize your potential. Don't let nobody tell you can't do nothing. You sat there when the world was going. You sat around and said, "Oh, I never get any days off. That's why I can't do my show," or "I never can't do this," or "I never can't do that." Now you have nothing but time. You have no excuse.
Right.
Your mind should be completely clear. You should have ideas on your board. You should have You should be sitting down with people. You should be doing everything you want to do right now while the world is sitting still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with that, right? So maximize your potential. The world pretty much like you said, it stood still. Your shows were predominantly done in person in your studio. So in that sense, how did COVID impact your shows? Did it impact you in any negative way as well?
The negative sense was that I couldn't have so many people, as many people as I wanted at a time, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously I don't want to catch anything. I want to protect myself, and I couldn't do
Mm-hmm.
it the episodes in abundance. And it's obviously you have to social distance yourself and all that other stuff. That was the only. I think that was the only thing that really stopped my show, because people the way I promote people, it makes them want to come, because I promote them every single day. Like I promote them. I do it in my sleep. I wake up at 3 a.m. I say, oh, let me promote such and such. I always promote them, so they feel like they owe me something, which they don't. But that's what makes people want to keep coming by, and that's why nothing is going to stop them.
Yeah, because
Somebody was will, huh?
you give value.
Yeah, and because all of us, like I tell people all the time, I was with this girl named Chantel Marie. Shout out to her. She was doing a show. She was doing a show, right? And the promoters was trying to act like we owed them something, because I was passing on her flyers, and I'm like, where the talent? You know what I'm saying? We're the talent, bitch. Like I'm like, you're sitting out here, you're sitting acting like we owe you something. Without us, you don't have a show. So
Right.
all you A&Rs that like to turn your nose up on people and do all that stuff, like, we're the talent. We're the reason why you have a job. And
Right.
I was telling the people, I told the people that we was outside in the hot, and I'm all dressed up like I'm all dressed up, and we're out in the hot sun, and you're telling us, oh, you're talking nasty to us. We're the reason why your lights are on.
That's
And
good.
once people understand the power that they have as the entertainer or something, and as the person, the entertainer is the ventriloquist. They control the puppets. You see what I'm saying? You control the people in the audience. They don't know what entertainment is. They come there, you're offering them a service.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think. That's why as the entertainers, that's why I promote them so much, to show them their worth. So then when they leave my show, they leave brighter than they came in.
Ooh,
That's deep. That's deep.
love it, love it. So what is at the end of the journey, right? We're just imagining like 100 years from now. That's how long we all gonna live. What is one thing that you want people to remember about you? What is your legacy?
I want people to remember that I'm a dark skinned kid from Irvington, New Jersey, who shared a room with two brothers. You know, we shared a bunk bed. They shared the bottom bunk together, and I had the top. They had to hear my noise because I move around a lot. I want people to remember that you can make it wherever you want to in this lifetime. It's just as far as you're willing to go. If you want to be a basketball player, be a basketball player. Dribble that ball. If you want to be an entertainer like me, pick up a mic and practice. If you want to be a parent, shoot to be the best parent that you could be. Don't ever let nobody turn you down. Don't ever let nobody say your dream is a pipe dream. It's unattainable. Don't ever let nobody tell you anything. Because like I said, I was called a waste of sperm before several times as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And I still got up and rise. I still helped raise two other brothers. You see what I'm saying? So don't ever let nobody tell you you can't do anything in this life. And so my legacy I want to leave behind is that I was strong, I was powerful, and that I didn't take no for an answer. I knocked the doors down with a bulldozer.
Love it, love it.
In addition to that, we have 2,000 aspiring entertainers in front of you. What do you tell them? What are some words of encouragement?
Advice.
That's good. That's a good one. I like you, man. You cool. um,
Okay.
you use your heart and not your eyes. Meaning, like it's a song. But use your heart and not your eyes. Meaning, don't believe everything you see. Believe what your heart tells you. If your heart tells you that's your passion, you pray on it. And if it constantly keeps on leading you in the direction, follow your heart. So don't believe what your eyes tell you. Your eyes can lie. A blind person still can't see the light. So just believe what your heart tells you.
Love it. On that note, we want to thank you so much for joining us, for being our guest host and launching. What is it officially?
Monday Motivation Chats.
Monday Motivation Chat?
Yeah.
Or Motivation Monday?
You said Monday Motivation. I'm going Monday Motivation.
Monday Motivation
Happy
Chat.
wife, happy life, right?
Absolutely. And you have a wonderful wife. I always tell her how wonderful she is. I love this lady. I try to play stupid, you guys. Dude, like, I don't know these guys. I try to play stupid. Like and all my interviews, like I don't know the person. But obviously you exposed it. Mm-hmm. But she's a wonderful wife. She let them write chalk on the house and she teaches them stuff. You guys are one. You guys are
you're defaming your house in the sake of education. I was like, Pat, it's just talk. It's gonna come on.
No, because that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Like you do so much to make sure that those kids have a good life. I respect that. A lot of people, parents, how many girls I see on these timelines that just show them twerking and going on vacation. The kids don't never go on vacation, but you're always with the kids and you're excited to be with them. That's the key. Like some people just like, oh yeah, let me take these little fuckers out. You're not like that. Like you really genuinely love your kids, and I respect that.
Yeah, I will say, like, there are some parents that have been struggling through COVID, being with their children so much than what they're used to. And I'm like so happy. Like I get to spend time with them. I get to be with them. I get to see them grow in a different way. I get to be more part of their growth because I'm with them all the time. And so, I mean, there's bad days. I mean, my kids are not angels. They got days where I'm want to throw them out the window or something. But
she doesn't really want to do that. She doesn't really
I mean, just because I think about it in my brain.
We're getting the countdown.
Right?
We're about to get shut down.
Well, you guys, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for allowing me to share my story on your wonderful platform.